Oh, that was quite a weekend, wasn't it? Back now from UK Games Expo 2026. I'm not recovered yet, emotionally, physically, spiritually, But despite that, I'm here to show you a few of my little highlights, a few things that I purchased. And I think because some of you found last year's video just before attending this year's event, I thought it might be nice at the end to maybe give a few top tips on attending, so that if you are watching this in the summer of 2027, when hopefully it's a better time for all of us, you have a few tips for your first time attending, because that would be really nice, I think. If you've never seen me before and you've just stumbled across this video, hi, welcome, I'm Angie. I run a very small business called the Fae Portal, where I hand make dice trays and dice and other whimsical ephemera for your tabletop games. And I was a trader at this year and last year's UK Games Expo, so I will say that this video obviously doesn't have as much of a walk around, and I didn't get a chance to buy as many things because I was trading there, but that's probably for the best, to be honest, given how much I spent in the half an hour that I basically managed to turn around. So I'll start by showing you just a few key highlights of cool stalls and things that I found in the halls, with the caveat that I was having some problems with my camera when I did get out to do a walk around. Yeah, it was me. I was the problem. So it's probably a little bit more brief and a bit more wobbly than it should be, but I hope you enjoy anyway. And then I'll see you back here in a couple of minutes to show you the goodies that I picked up. I do have a bit more of a longer, more comprehensive walk around in the video I did last year, so you can check that out if you want, but hopefully that gave you a little taster of what the halls are like. But without further ado, let me show you some of the games I got. I'll start with like D&D supplements, then I've got a few board games and a few dice and little bits of miscellaneous show you as well at the end. So one of the things I picked up was Swornheart by Fistful of Crits. If you watched my video from last year, I'm a big fan of theirs. They do really lovely supplements for D&D and then independent games as well. This one is great if you are a fan of the Saints of Steel series or romantasy that involves knight and paladin vibes, which is very much up my alley. I got the solo version. Is it sad to play a romantasy solo RPG? I don't think so, and judging by the fact I think I got one of the last few copies, I think a lot of you don't think so as well. So they do have a 2-player one, but I picked up the 1-player and I'm going to have a little go at that later. So I think you choose whether you are the heart or what's the other one called? It's like 2 characters that are like the sort of the knight. Oh, the sworn and the heart. So you choose kind of which one you're going to play, and based around that. And it just looks really lovely. They always do really beautiful illustrations, really quality products. And of course, no AI. You will not see anything made using generative AI within this video. So yeah, looking forward to that. A couple of other bits I picked up were from Crow and Crown Studio. Again, a trader that I've been a fan of for a couple of years now and always kind of pick up some of their supplements. I got, oh sorry, I'm all excited there. So I got Bloodwood, which is a 5th edition D&D adventure that's like an undead fae kind of vibe. So I'm really excited about this. So it says, a spate of attacks on caravans, a gold greedy nobleman, ambitious, successful, missing. A town under attack from vengeful fae. So although like if you took a look at my shop and a lot of my stuff online, you probably think, oh, she's just into like cutesy, like cozy games and stuff. That's a big part of my vibe, but oh my God, the maps in this are amazing. This looks really cool. I do like something a little bit on the darker side sometimes too. So I think the fact that that's a slightly darker tone, but blended with some fae stuff in there, that's perfect for me. I'm really gonna enjoy running that. Sorry, my battery died. I think my camera heard me talking about it and I didn't want to play ball. But yeah, I was literally just saying that Bloodwood is an adventure for 6th level players. So when I was asking the ladies in Crow and Crown about it, I think they said it'd probably do maybe like 5-6 sessions without shenanigans. A little bit more with some shenanigans. And speaking of shenanigans, that was kind of my darker adventure purchase, but I also got the old pub crawl. It's just called the pub crawl. I don't know why I put old in there. Ye old pub crawl. So this is a 3rd level adventure, again for 5th edition. And I picked this up just because it sounded really fun. In sunny rural Barrowshire, nobody walks to the pub walks to them. So we've got this kind of like Baba Yaga's hut type house going on, but it's a pub. But lately something's gone wrong. The doors to the Wandering Arms are still open, but no one is allowed to leave. So yeah, that sounds like a fun kind of caper full of whimsy and shenanigans and like silly British pub culture humour. So I thought that would be a really fun one to play with maybe some beginner players very soon. I got to meet the lovely Juan, not Juan, I kept calling him Juan like he was Spanish, but from Odd Artworks, and I did a collab with them when his channel started a while back. But yeah, he's a really, really talented illustrator, and I got some of his zines while I was there, which was really cool. In terms of games, sort of following on from the romantasy theme of Swornheart, I picked up Enemies and Lovers from Van Ryder Games. I think I probably mentioned in my little walk around that I'm really into the idea of playing the Final Girl games, and they look really cool, but there's loads of them and I was a little bit overwhelmed and didn't know what to do. But I caught sight of this. I think I'd seen this before and really liked the artwork. I haven't actually read any of Holly Black's stuff, but I think she's the author that wrote The Cruel Prince, and that is this series of books. That's been on my kind of TBR for a while, but I haven't got around to reading it. But I think this looks like it would be really enjoyable and fun, regardless of whether you've read any of her actual novels. It's beautiful cards. It looks like it's a kind of, you know, assemble the winning court, conspiracy, deception, kind of, you know, fun sort of card game for 2 to 4 players. So that looks like something that'll be right up my alley. So I'm going to give that a go very soon. Other things that I picked up in terms of like little board games, I will show you kind of like the family friendly bits. I got Tic Tac Trek, which I'm not going to spend long talking about because I feel like everyone knows about these cute little tin games from Alley Cat. They're really cool. I feel like that's a nice little compact game I'll take kind of camping and stuff in the summer. And then Harvest Valley as well, I thought was really cute. Obviously, if you're into like your Stardew Valley and things like that, little like farming sims, this would be very cute. Little like adorable tile laying game with, again, beautiful little pixel art illustrations. So looking forward to that. On the other end of of the spectrum of small card games. I do love a small card game. I picked up Flee the Horde from Royal Stag Press, who are lovely guys. Go check out their stuff if ever you're at an event with them. So this is like, again, like a card placement game where you're trying to flee the horde, escape the zombies, and plot your route to the home card so you can escape them. Very fun, works really nicely with two, very cooperatively, and then kind of the more and more crazy it gets with like more multiple players and stuff, it's nice, it scales nicely, I think. But what I like about this is you've got kind of the added challenge of your space that you use kind of dictates how frantic and crazy the game will get. So if you're actually only using like your small coffee table, the limit of the size of that and sort of where you can plot your route to try and flee the horde is much more constrained, so it's really stressful. Whereas if you've got a big table, you can kind of have all these winding routes. So that kind of adds a fun element to it. Your space will make the game more stressful, which actually could be more fun. But yeah, I'll see how that one plays. And when I've done it a few times, I'll let you know. And in terms of little bits and bobs that I got as well, I was about to say I was quite restrained with dice. I wasn't really restrained with dice this year. I did only get one full set though, and all the sets that I've got are from fully like handmade. The D4's gone. What did I roll? A 3, pretty solid. I picked up these unicorn dice from Ferngale, who is a lovely artisan dice maker. So I'd got one full set, and the rest were all singles. A couple of them were ones that I traded with other dice makers, which is a really lovely thing that a lot of us dice makers do. I picked up a D20 and a D6 from Dark Sky Dice, whose dice I absolutely love, and from Thornless Rose, who was on the same row as me, and we kept like eyeing up each other's dice. The Everott, I got a couple of raw singles from her stand. Good tip if you really like the idea of handmade dice, but you think actually they're a bit out of your budget, a bit too expensive for you. So many of us like handmade dice makers at UK Games Expo had a bowl of like either B grades or singles that were uninked or unfinished, and it's a really fun way of picking up like little singles in a collection of dice that you wouldn't normally be able to afford. Obviously these ones I'm going to ink myself because the numbers aren't inked. I've had a few people buy dice off me from like my random singles bowl, and have said that actually they really enjoyed like inking the numbers, and that's become one of their favourite dice. That's nice. And oh my gosh, this like, I don't know, gem, pyramid, like whatever you would call that, from Dice of the Seeker, who is a lovely human being and an awesome dice maker. Really pleased with that. And I got a little tank D6 from her as a present too, for a history nerd. So in terms of like little bits and bobs that I got, there's a few cute things. You may have noticed me drinking my tea out of this rather fabulous mug. So this is from House of Banshee. I've been eyeing up her stuff since literally like last year, when I missed out on getting one of these last year's UK Games Expo. She had the gelatinous brew this year, which was like a gelatinous cup themed, like little teapot and teacup for one. Oh, that was amazing. Sold out in 20 minutes on Friday. And I was walking past her stand on the way back from the loo on Saturday morning and noticed this was the last one. I was like, now's my time. I'm taking that home with me. So I'm very, very pleased with that. And I've got a mug problem. I'm the first to admit that. I'm not ashamed. So I also got another mug from Misty Moon, who I love her illustrations. I've got her green Adventurers one from last year, and I'm an autumnal girly, so I got her autumnal one this year as well. Speaking of Misty Moon, she's done a collab with Chaos Curios, who make lovely candles. Look how beautiful that is. I've just had this open on my desk because it's beautiful. And it smells amazing. What is it? It's lavender and something else, heavenly cedar and salted lavender. So it's not too kind of sweet floral. It's kind of like got a nice depth to it. But how pretty is that? That's insane. So yeah, that one's beautiful as well. Always got to come away with a candle anytime I go anywhere. Candles and mugs. Yeah, it's kind of a problem for me. And last kind of, I think this is the most expensive thing I bought actually. The mug was expensive because that's like proper handcrafted ceramics, like that is definitely worth it. But this was slightly beaten out by the Warhammer Mini. Say Mini, she's flipping huge, look at her, beautiful. I've only just started painting Warhammer, and I've not even finished the other like Sylvaneth Tree Revenants that I was painting, but I saw this and I couldn't resist. And they don't put any prices on anything, do they? So, and I forgot how expensive one was. So I got to the till, like passed it over with no price on it. And he was like, that's, you know, how much? I was like, and it was that thing where I'd queued, there were people behind me. I couldn't not, but it's all good because like the more I look at it, it's stunning. Like there's actually like there's a guy like in the pod in the back of the tree. There's little guys down the bottom. The wing she got wings or is that a weapon? I don't know what's going on. There's a lot going on and it's all very, very beautiful. So I don't really think I'm kind of at the level where I can attempt painting this, but a part of me is like, just go for it. Just build it, just go for it. It might not be being not gonna like that, but I might really enjoy it and it'll look good on my shelf because I'm not playing at the moment because I don't have enough to make up an army yet or anything. Maybe one day. But yeah, I thought that was pretty epic. I like that. So yeah. So lastly, yeah, just wanted to kind of give, like I said, a few kind of top tips for anyone who might find this video next summer and be about to attend 2027 UK Games Expo and be thinking, you know, what should I prioritise there? These top tips, they're not going to be wear comfy trainers and hydrate, bring water, because I'm not your mum. I'm not going to tell you to do that. I would also be a hypocrite because even though I know you're supposed to do those things, I basically came back a withered husk with really sore shins. Shins? No, that's the front bit. What's the back bit? Calves. So I'd be a hypocrite if I told you to be comfy and drink because I didn't do enough of that. But what I would say is top tip number one, look for the little guys. And I know I'm obviously kind of biased in that because I'm one of the little guys. I'm one of the small businesses that aren't going to be like front and centre and taking up a huge footprint of the trade hall, you know. But regardless of whether I was doing that or not, I just think if you don't kind of explore the fringes and go over to those little stands, you're missing such like the heart and soul of the event. Do you know what I mean? Like there's lots of traders there, just to let you know that it might be their first year. They've got what UK Games Expo deems a starter stand, which will often be in an area of the hall where you're not going to get as much foot traffic, but it's a way to kind of test the water for your first one and see if actually people are interested, you make money, people come over and talk to you. And if those traders don't get those people exploring and coming to the edges and the periphery, that might be it for them. They might not come back next year, or that game might not get funded, you know. So do take the time to explore if you can and kind of look for those little hidden gems in amongst all the big guys. I know it's really nice to go to the ones that have like the big like kind of showy stands and have the offers on and have the exclusive deals, and that's part of the experience and it's a lot of fun. But seek out the hidden within that as well would be one of my top tips. Tip number two would be buy things when you see them. Like I know everyone's like wants to take some time to think about purchases in this cost of living crisis, and I get it, but particularly with the smaller sellers or the really kind of new hot games, like Friday the past couple of years has become the shopping day and everyone's been talking about that. Friday has kind of overtaken Saturday for a lot of us, and I wonder if it's because people coming in doing their shopping to free up the weekend for games. So we were finding that actually stuff was going on the Friday, and if you came back late Saturday or even on the Sunday, sorry Sunday only attendees, a lot of people were selling out of stuff by then. And of course that's often the case for smaller handmade sellers like me. Like there's only so much we can hand make and fit in the car, you know, we don't have like lorries dropping our stuff off. So I know people might say just make more, but you know, within the limits of what we can do with our own two hands, we have to kind of work within that. But even some of the bigger games, like Flamecraft sold out at Cardboard Alchemy. Like that was their only thing. It sold out. The plushies were basically gone. I wanted to get bookshelf, the new Alley Cat Games little tin. That was gone by Sunday. Couldn't get that anywhere. There were quite a few things that were just going. So if there's something you really, really want, and potentially you can only get it at the expo, then get in early and do it would be my top tip, having noticed that the past couple of years. Another top tip would be scope out the entertainment as well. I know that like the trade halls are a big part of it and we like doing our shopping and seeing all the stuff that's on offer. But again, not just the big guys. Like, I went and had a great time on the Friday evening at the Nightmare live show, which was funny and nostalgic and brilliant. And a lot of people really enjoy going to that annually, I know. But there's also smaller, interesting, like TTRPG actual plays. You might never heard of the group, but that's a really cool way to spend an hour and a half or 2 hours and go and see something you wouldn't normally, get a novel experience and support those indie creators. I think that's a really amazing offer that UK Games Expo has that you don't find anywhere else. And you get to sit down for a couple of hours, which was lovely. Nightmare was great, getting to sit down after a long day in the trade halls. So that's a perk too. Who cares what you're seeing? You know, you get to sit down for a bit. And there was something else as well. Oh yeah, this is kind of an obvious one, but it's hard to do in a day anymore. Again, I feel like a hypocrite because I only did like half an hour wandering around. It was probably more than that. But yeah, if you can get more than a day ticket, I know obviously for a lot of people that's not doable. You can only come for the day or can't get accommodation, don't live close by, whatever. But if you can stretch it to 2, I think it's basically impossible to do it all in one day. So if you can only come for one, I think you sort of need to make your peace with the fact that you won't get to do everything you'd like to do. Have your like key hit list of things and accept that you won't be able to go potentially to a load of live shows and demo all the games. You know, you're probably going to have to like divide up your day to be like, right, morning we're shopping, we're demoing in the afternoon, and we're not going to see all the halls. And that's okay. But I think more and more as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, coming for just a day means you're going to miss out on more and more. So I'd say a 2 or 3 dayer is the ideal. And hopefully I'll get to see some more next year because we're going to kind of bring some help. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I will see you at next year's UK Games Expo, or maybe you're watching this a couple of weeks before, in which case I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.